Hi, this is Brian with Adtran's Ensemble Edge Cloud team. In this video, we show how to ZTP a service including the Cloudlet vRouter and a Firewall VM in Ensemble's Edge Cloud. To do this, you need a Cloudlet 10 gig server, an EdgeView eval account, and a laptop. Let's get started. Here's a front panel view of our server. We're going to make port 6 our WAN interface and have the vRouter LAN drop to port 7. Let's say we want to chain a FortiGate firewall behind the vRouter and have the firewall drop another LAN to port 2. I'm showing the firewall in a cloud because it will run in an Ensemble cloud on the server. Those aqua-colored lines are Cloudlet Layer 2 services that interconnect the VMs with each other and with physical ports. Now let's build it. First, we select the Zero Touch application, which will already be in your eval account. We explain applications in more detail in other videos, but the thing to know now is that applications always include a template to set up the Cloudlet infrastructure, and in cases like this where it's also launching a third-party VM, the application will also include a template that sets up the service that runs in the cloud. Next, we create a host name, which can be anything, and in the UID field, enter one of the keys provided in your eval email. On the Network tab, we adjust the ports the way we want, which was port 6 as the WAN and ports 2 and 7 as the LANs, and we're not running a 5G wireless port. Then we want to map the ports of our vRouter to those predefined connection services we talked about earlier. Our vRouter only needs 3 ports plus 1 for control, so we reduce the port count to 4 to make this a little cleaner. Then we select those predefined connection services. We want a connection from the vRouter to the firewall, we want a connection to port 6, and we want one to port 7. We'll pick one of the pre-packaged configurations for the vRouter itself right now and proceed to the final tab. This is the Cloud tab. On the right side, we see some variables we can change. Which variables get exposed and what their default values are is determined by that cloud template that's part of the application we selected. That's what we want, so we make no changes. We've created our service, but before we ZTP the server, I want to show you the cloud template we talked about. Looking under the Design tab, we can see the application template we used. When we edit this, we can see that it includes a cloud or VM template called Adtran_FortiGate2. If we go back and look under the VM application templates, we find Adtran_FortiGate2. When we edit that, we can see the cloud template used to create this firewall. And we can see the template uses the Cloudlet connection service called vRouter and links it to port 2 on the firewall, and that it takes port 1 on the firewall and links it to the Cloudlet connection service called 2, which connects to port 2. So in total, our service chain looks like this. Now with our server powered up, we connect port 4 to our laptop with a browser open. After a few minutes, when we see the splash screen, we click on a button with the words Enter UID manually. After that, we paste the key value we used earlier. This kicks off ZTP. In this use case, ZTP is not only initializing the router, but it's also launching a cloud, launching the Firewall VM on the cloud, and initializing the firewall configuration. So this ZTP takes about 26 minutes. Okay, back at EdgeView, we see our added node has completed ZTP and it's operational. Checking alarms, we have a few. That's because I left ports 2 and 7 unconnected. Clicking the node status opens the General, System, and vRouter node information panels. We can also open a CLI window directly into the vRouter for queries or configuration changes. To view the cloud-hosted firewall, we go to the Cloud Resources. Here we see the status of our Edge Cloud is green and running. Clicking that gives us a great view of the firewall's cloud resource utilization on that node. And if we click the application instance, we enter another view where we see details like created links, the connection services, and even can open a VNC terminal into the firewall itself. Okay, that wraps it up. If you find these videos helpful, please remember to subscribe, and thanks for watching.